Review panel said that public meetings are being held for community organizations to solicit their views on costs and benefits of the maintenance and development of freeways on the economy. The e-toll review panel was also advised to improve their contact lines and work together with municipalities to issue notices of their schedule to reach as many people as possible. Gauteng Premier David Makhura has pledged to act decisively on the recommendations of the review panel. The panel is expected to submit its final report with recommendations to Makhura at the end of November. But for more on the story in our studios, we are now joined by Jacob Khawe, Chairperson of Roads and Transport Committee in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. Sir, welcome to AM News.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I suppose everyone is trying to understand the role of the e-tolls panel. And can you just kindly take us through the portfolio committee and what their role is in this process of reviewing the e-toll?
The panel is appointed to advise the Premier, and the portfolio committee on roads and transport in Gauteng welcomed the panel. And our interest in the panel was to check the level of public participation, and was also to get from the panel and the Premier as to whether will the panel reach as many people as we want, particularly the road users, and the mechanisms to get the views of the people. And so far we are satisfied that the panel indeed has engaged various organizations and is now embarking on public hearings where everybody is invited. And we would like to encourage our people, all road users and those who think there has been impact on them individually or as business, to actually use this opportunity to inform the panel so that by 30 November the Premier should come to the legislature with the views of the people.
One would expect that to get a holistic understanding of the issues raised within the committee and the panel would to have SANRAL be present at these committee meetings and to be present before the panel review. What is the committee's view on SANRAL's refusal, of course, to appear before the panel?
Look, when you create a panel or a commission and the intention is to get various views, it's disappointing to have one structure or other people who say will not go to the panel. The panel is not about accountability as to SANRAL reports to who. It's about the economic impact. As they are implementers of the system, for me, they were supposed to go and state their case, and perhaps their views could actually help the panel to understand more in terms of the cost implications, the impact, and whether indeed is it working for Gauteng. So it's a bit disappointing indeed that they've taken the stance they've taken. But
we also know that you have invited the public to attend these committee meetings. Are you happy with the level of attendance so far?
So far we're very happy. The only meeting where we were really not happy was the management of time in Soweto, because at the end of the meeting very few people were still remaining. So it shows that some people think that they must come and speak and go without listening to others. But so far we are indeed very, very happy with the level of participations. We urge councils, though, that they must popularize these meetings in a way that there will be no excuse for anybody to say we didn't know about the meeting. We've also asked them to convene such sessions during the weekend, because some of our people during the week work in an environment where it doesn't allow them to come to meetings during the week. So they should do weekends. But generally, we are satisfied.
And just according to the committee's observation, what are the public, or rather, what is the public saying with regards to e-tolls?
It's very interesting that we've also monitored the media space, and what is reported is generally a view of those who are against the e-tolls, but the views expressed by others who suggest, for example, there's a gentleman who suggested a standard fee of the tolls. There's another person who suggested perhaps a different method of getting the user to pay, and that is not being publicized in any way. There's an organization that has demonstrated that using the normal tolls now vis-a-vis the e-toll, it's actually cheaper for him in the e-toll than with the normal tolls, because that is a standard amount to be paid. So if you move from Vaal to Johannesburg and use N1 before any e-toll, it's a standard 10 rand, which is mean 20 rand a day, multiplied by 5 days, multiplied by 4 weeks. Whereas if you use the R59 and have one e-toll, it's 3 rand 50. And this person was making that comparison with the discount given, therefore it means it's cheaper. So people are expressing their views, and we hope that the panel will actually capture all the views and advise the Premier correctly.
And do you think with the meetings that you're having, I mean, you've also expressed that you had to push to having the meetings to the weekend because you needed to accommodate those members that will be busy during the week. But do you think that the meetings will be enough to cover all Gauteng regions?
Perhaps let's clarify that we're not having meetings as a committee. It's the panel that is having these meetings. But yes, indeed, we think that convening them weekend will actually give more people an opportunity to come before the panel.
And let's talk about different political parties here. I understand that dozens of Soweto residents, mostly in their DA T-shirts, filled the Orlando Community Hall to address an advisory panel on socio-economic impact on e-tolls. Are political parties allowed to participate in this process?
The panel did clarify the process, and the DA is part of our committee. And the panel said the first engagement would be with the organized formations. The second engagement would be the public. The third engagement would be the members of the legislature, and then the political parties. So from where we stand, we think that everybody will be given the opportunity. Now, for people to rent crowds and go to these public meetings, we think they may actually discredit the process, change the process to be political line, and we don't support really such a decision. Parties will be given the opportunity. In fact, it's us as a committee who said to the panel, don't consult political parties that are in the legislature only. Also get all other political parties that exist in the province. And that is the process that they'll be embarking on. So political parties should not rush. This is not about numbers and political scoring. It's about an impact economically to the province and to the individuals who are using these roads.
And as you said, this of course impacts the individuals that are paying for these e-tolls or affected by the e-tolls. So when can they expect feedback from the review panel?
The review panel is given a deadline of 30 November. And it will go to the Premier. The Premier will then come back to the legislature with the advice given by the panel. And then communities will be consulted on that. And secondly, a process of engagement, whether with national, will be determined once the panel has provided the advice.
All right, then thank you so much, Mr. Jacob Khawe, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was Jacob Khawe, Chairperson of Roads and Transport Committee in Gauteng Provincial Legislature, giving us more feedback about the review panel, the meetings that have been occurring, of course, there, as we, of course, discuss the issue of e-tolls within Gauteng.